Well, good day, everyone. Welcome to Health Check. I'm your host, Dr. Vanessa Bolling. I'm so delighted to see you all today. Whether you're catching this live or you're watching the replay, Health Check is where you can stop, take a minute, check in on you, see how you're doing as it pertains to your physical health and wellness and healing lifestyle. Again, I'm your host, Dr. Vanessa Bolling. So delighted to be with you. Health Check, as we know, is sponsored by Kingdom Health Connections, where it's a resource center. It's all about cultivating a culture of health, wellness, healing for you and the entire family. What we're talking about today is doing our immune system a favor. And I'm so delighted to meet with you today, whether you're live or you're catching the replay. As always, like, share with your family members, individuals, co-workers, because this all applies to us. Anyone who has a physical body, this is applicable to you. So thank you for tuning in for your weekly vitamin. As you see in the description, today we're talking about doing our immune system a favor. As we know, the fall months, which fall is this Saturday, or probably if you're catching the replay, fall has already started. Maybe it's in the winter months. And it has been termed that it's been studied or shown over time that during the fall, winter months, all the way up to the beginning of spring, even past spring, that's that respiratory virus and disease season. So it's already been claimed and stated that that's what it is. We know about COVID-19. We see that counts and numbers are actually increasing. We've seen with the flu virus that typically happens around these months as well, the month of September on. RSV is a new thing too as well. It's not new actually, but it's been shown to be more prominent now, especially among our children or infants around these months as well. So we know that this is coming. It's been broadcasted that this is what's going to happen, but we can actually stop, take a minute, and begin to prepare ourselves for the seasons that are ahead. It is very common during the winter months, the fall, winter months, the season changes. So it's more dry. So we see the leaves changing. We see all these identifications or markers that the season is changing. It's a dry season. So it's more likely that our sinuses are dry. It's more likely that our sinuses are dry. And not only that, it makes it more likely for viruses to take place, viruses to happen. So that's why we see with season changes, you're more likely to get sniffles, sneeze a little bit more. Sometimes it's termed as allergies or a little 24-hour, 48-hour cold virus. So we know these things happen. So let's be prepared and boost our immune system. So ultimately, we want to be preventative. In the moment, we don't necessarily want to be as reactive to the presence of a virus, but we want to be more preventative in terms of preparing our bodies, boosting our immune system so that it remains in good health. So as we boost our immune system, we're able to fight the virus. The immune system is able to function to its fullest capacity and get rid of the virus, get rid of the infection, maybe even without any medications or pharmaceuticals in the time or in the moment. So how do we do this? We can do this by hydrating. So keeping our bodies hydrated is really important. When we're dehydrated, we're more likely to not feel well, even if a cold or infection does happen. But to help prevent these things from happening, to boost our immune system, we want to stay hydrated. The cells in our bodies are primarily made up of water. So what better thing than to hydrate with water to boost our immune system so it can function the best way it was designed to function. We don't want to stress our bodies out by getting no sleep. Have you ever noticed that when you don't get enough sleep, you don't feel as well? I know I've noticed that. And it's just our body saying we need to get sleep. When we don't get sleep, we're more likely to put our bodies into an inflammatory state. And as a result, it's easier to get sick, viruses, infections, things of that sort. So we want to make sure that we get enough sleep. It's not just about taking vitamins, herbal supplements, or even doing various different techniques. It's also about our lifestyle. It's about getting the sleep that we need. I want to go back to hydrating. When we're hydrating, we want to keep in mind that while we are hydrating, we not only hydrate with water, but there are also teas that can help boost our immune system. And I might as well segue right over to the vitamins and herbal supplements. So there's certain teas, there's certain foods, even so, like lemon, ginger, honey, echinacea, elderberry. Those are some examples of things that we can consume that help to boost our immune system. So that way these viruses, these illnesses, these 24-hour colds or bugs don't affect us or our children as well. So things such as vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, zinc. I mentioned elderberry, honey, turmeric, ginger, even garlic is very good for the body as well. So let's keep that in mind. We want to reduce inflammation as well. Ways in which we can reduce inflammation is with our diet as well. So I mentioned some vitamins, some herbs, some fruits, veggies. Those things will help to reduce inflammation in the body. So as we know that this termed respiratory virus disease season is coming up, we want to make sure to reduce the inflammation in our body. So let's prepare even by the way that we eat. The more processed it is the more likely it's going to cause inflammation. It's causing inflammation because it's working the body. It's causing the body to work much harder than how it needs to work. So we want to reduce inflammation by what we eat. The more sugar we're consuming, more likely our bodies will be inflamed. Another way in which there's inflammation in the body is even with dairy. So even those who may struggle with respiratory issues underlying, whether it's COPD, asthma, emphysema, sarcoidosis, anything of that sort that affects the lungs, dairy will produce more inflammation. So we want to reduce that inflammation by reducing the amount of dairy we're taking in. The more inflammation that happens in the lungs, the more mucus that's produced, the more, and if we're not as active physically, that mucus can settle in the lungs, and then we have a byproduct called pneumonia. This is something that also happens during the fall, winter months as well, during this respiratory virus season, as it's been claimed. So these are why these tips are very, very important in terms of making sure that our bodies remain in good health. We want to reduce stress as much as possible. Let's not stress our physical bodies out by causing inflammation. We want to reduce mental stress too as well. The more stressed we are, the less likely we're to sleep as thoroughly as we'd like to. And that alone, stress will increase the inflammation in our bodies. So let's not stress our bodies out and cause it to work even harder, because it's already on preventative mode to prevent our bodies from getting sick or a mild virus or a small virus replicating into something bigger than what it is. And I like to call this the lost art. I know there's a lot of vitamins, there's a lot of supplements, there's herbs, ginger. I mentioned some of those things, but let's not underestimate the power of hand washing. So this is for us as adults. This is also for our children as well. Hand washing, washing our hands. It's better if our hands are soiled or not. The best way to make sure that our hands are clean is with soap and water. 20-second rule. That's the rule of thumb. 20 seconds washing our hands. Happy birthday song. You can sing that. But make sure that we're washing our hands. Yes, there's Purell, there's hand sanitizers, but the best way, and that's usually if there's not a sink with soap and water available to us, the best way is to wash our hands. especially for children. They're touching their mouth, they're consuming things, their hands might not be clean. And especially during this school season, it's very common to see these viruses, these illnesses passing. So hand hygiene is everything. And even training the children and doing it ourselves as adults, to when we're sneezing in our elbow, things of that sort. And even after that happens, washing our hands. So balance is everything with this. We want to balance mentally by reducing stress. We want to balance with our bodies as well by getting the sleep we need. We want to balance nutritionally as well. We want to even exercise. These are things that help boost the immune system, so we're not getting sick frequently. And that sinus infection, that I say sinus infection because that's something that I commonly hear in the office. I get the sinus infection every year. Well, why? When we're saying things like that, we need to stop and look. Why is this happening every year, the same time every year? Something's out of balance. So viruses, illnesses, they're more likely to have a right to be in the body when something's out of balance. So we want to balance through sleep. We want to balance with our nutrition. We want to balance by staying hydrated. We want to balance by getting the vitamins, the minerals through our food, or even supplements. We also don't want to be so heavy on supplements that we're now opening a nutraceutical shop in our home, right? We don't need to over supplement. And even when we're supplementing, realize that supplements don't function as well when the body is not in the balance that it needs to be in. Over supplementing is not the answer, but making sure that our bodies are in balance is where the answer is. So yes, take supplements, but don't overdo it. Don't overwhelm your body by over supplementing. And if you're supplementing and maybe taking a whole lot of supplements, 20 plus, I've seen it, I've witnessed it. If you're still eating a high sugar diet, if you're still eating a diet that's highly inflammatory, those supplements aren't going to be as effective at all. So balance, 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 balance is key. So I pray that you are blessed today. We know we have the choice today between life and death, blessings and curses. I call on all of heaven to witness the decision that you and I make today. Oh, that we would choose life by being balanced mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Be balanced, even nutritionally, so that not only we would live, but our children would also live and be well this school semester, right? I pray that you were blessed. Go ahead and put hashtag I choose life. As you know, next week, Tuesday, I will be here meeting you on Facebook Live, the Apostles House page, the Kingdom Health Connections page, as well as the Kingdom Health Connections YouTube page. I pray that you are blessed. I'm so delighted to meet with you all every Tuesday, 9 a.m., whether you're catching it live or on the replay. I'll see you then. And remember, do your immune system. Let's do our immune system a favor by keeping that balance in every level of our day, right? Be blessed, everyone. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.